80% of wastewater from tourism facilities is dumped into the sea untreated, according to the UN Environment Programme, which ultimately degrades natural resources that local community depends on. Tourism is constantly being glorified as a powerful tool for economic growth. However, due to the proliferation of industrial growth, it has distorted the nexus between national economic development and sustainable tourism. In this speech, I will prove why empowering environmental sustainability and the well-being of local inhabitants weigh more than mass industrial growth.
The rapid industrial expansion has ultimately changed and damaged the original status of local communities and the ecosystem. Tourism is a major component of environmental damage, and the lack of awareness among the mass tourism for protecting the inherent natural status is the underlying cause for the local well-being deterioration and wildlife damage. In many tourist attraction areas in Vietnam, like Halong Bay or the ancient town of Hoi An, there is the problem of graffiti vandalism at the Hoi An bridge or walls and the signature's yellow wall. And this act ultimately led to a loss of cultural identity and the local young generations gradually losing their pride in the historic building. Moving over to the turnover of tourism, while profits often flow to large corporations or foreign investors, local residents often face high living costs, homogenization, and low wages. On the contrary, policies that promote local ownership of tourism business, fair wages, and preservation empowers residents to adopt a effective, environmentally sustainable practices for the future generations. And as a result, community-oriented and sustainable tourism can exclusively guarantee these benefits, both economic and social, while still remaining within the community.
On the other hand, environmental sustainability is the fundamental principle that has to be upheld in every circumstances. Mass tourism for industrial growth may bring rapid profit, but is markedly vulnerable to second events like pandemics, leading to a considerable income loss for local community and the economic of the nation in tandem. Sustainable models such as eco-friendly cultural tourism can promote responsible growth. Even if that they face any sucking events, the local can still rely on domestic growth by taking advantage of natural resources and ensuring environmental sustainability, not losing like 100% of their income like mass tourism, as it heavily depends on foreign tourists. However, unregulated tourism detrimentally damage natural beaches, forests, and coral reefs like, for instance, Vũng Tàu in Vietnam or Maya Bay in Thailand.
Prioritizing green practices such as ecotourism, renewable energy, and waste reduction safeguards biodiversity and ensures that tourism can thrive both economically and sustainably in the long run. To illustrate this, countries like Costa Rica demonstrate that sustainability can coexist with profitability. By investing in ecology and conservation, it potentially attracts high-value tourists while preserving 25% of its land as protected areas. Other measures, such as imposing strict protocols to ensure the tourists' respect for environmental protection, can also ultimately limit the damage done to the ecosystem and the livelihoods of locals. For instance, visitors who violate the regulations should be subject to financial penalties.
In conclusions, only when these measures are manifested can tourism be a driving force for the development of the nations. By placing community well-being and sustainable of both industrial growth, governments can foster a tourism industry that uplifts people's living conditions without exploiting them and celebrates nature without destroying it.